Jaiswal researched and wrote on issues of sanitation in Qatar. Tisha Elizabeth wrote on issues of domestic male trafficking.
Thank you.
Shobha worked on BPL and the urban core in Mumbai.
Hi Shobha, congratulations. Well done.
Amar Jyoti is not here anymore. Amar Jyoti is not here. Adil Hussain, photo documentary at Aligarh Muslim University.
जी आदिल मुबारक। बात है।
Hari photo documentary Youth and Culture in Milana, a small village in Himachal Pradesh.
हिमाचल में कहाँ? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This woman across the world. She is also leading the 1 billion rising in India and Asia. Mr. Santosh Desai is a leading ad professional and a social commentator. He is the MD and CEO of Future Brands India Limited. Also widely known for his weekly column City City Bang Bang in the Times of India. Shri Kalikesh is a member of Parliament from Odisha and a member of Biju Janata Dal. His development focuses primarily livelihood to climate change issues. He is also interested in young people and their participation in politics. Amitabh, Executive Director NFI will moderate.
आवाज साफ है पूरी तरह से या थोड़ा सा कमजोर है आवाज? साफ है। मैं शुरू करना चाहता था खास एक बात आपके साथ शेयर कर दीप और मैं परसों नरसों एक कार्यक्रम में साथ में थे और वहाँ पर श्री गणेश देवी जिनको आप बहुत से लोग जानते होंगे, उन्होंने अपनी बातचीत की शुरुआत इस तरह की कि एक गरीब दलित युवक बड़ौदा के गायकवाड़ महाराज से मिला और उन्हें गायकवाड़ महाराज ने कहा कि हम फेलोशिप, हमारे पास फेलोशिप्स हैं, आप ये फेलोशिप लें और कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी जाएं। और जब वो लौट कर आए तो एक तरह से इतिहास रचा गया। आप सब जानते हैं कि हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं। अम्बेडकर जी लौट कर आए और उस तरह से एक तरह से भारत के इतिहास में बहुत बड़ी क्रांति हुई। तो मुझे लगता है सब फेलोज के साथ हम लोगों की उम्मीदें बहुत हैं और आपके लिए एक बार फिर सलाम और मैं चाहूँगा हम सब ताली बजाएं। And I also wanted to start the conversation by expressing our deep solidarity, and we'll see that expression of solidarity towards the end of this evening with the 1 billion rising. But I also wanted to, with 1 billion rising, also express my solidarity with Aram Sharmila and Soni Sori as well. The conversation that we're going to have, this morning we were discussing with our fellows and there are few people who don't understand English. तो थोड़ा बहुत हम हिंदी में बोलेंगे पर ज़्यादातर साथियों के लिए शायद अंग्रेज़ी ज़्यादा सरल भाषा होगी। आप तीनों शायद दोनों भाषाएं बहुत अच्छे से बोलते हैं, तो थोड़ा बहुत हिंदी में, but we'll probably have most of the conversation in English. And I just wanted to start, Kamala, with you. The idea is that we have a free-flowing conversation. If somebody has a very pressing question, if you can just give it to me in writing, I'll try and integrate it in our conversation. You've seen dramatic changes in the past few years. Dramatic changes in terms of the Arab Spring happening, in terms of the Occupy movement, our own anti-corruption movement here, and then what we saw in terms of the the protest against the Delhi gang rape. So there is a very, very strong citizens activism that we are now witnessing. So how do you look at this new upsurge of citizens activism or particularly struggles in gender justice?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Something seems to be shifting. There is a shift in consciousness. Even in the United States of America, we had to wait for a long time to see something like that happen there. Even they went on the roads, and what is happening at the moment in Bangladesh is very, very significant. Millions of people are coming out against right-wing fundamentalist forces. This question is particularly about gender struggles and the recent upsurge. I really feel that feminist messages of gender equality have been in the air for a long time. Seeds of all these things have been there, and now somehow it is finding the sunlight, it is finding the air and water, and suddenly these seeds are springing up. And each movement is inspiring the next one to be bigger, to be stronger. And definitely in the women's movement, the young women know now that for 60 years the Constitution is saying that there is equality between men and women. So now they don't want to accept the inequalities which they face within their home, the inequalities which they face vis-a-vis the panchayats, the inequalities, the dehumanization they face when several politicians speak, religious leaders speak, a lot of the media in their advertisements speak. So I think it's been in the air for a long time, and now you will see, this is my hope and my understanding, bigger and bigger movements. But the challenge is now with the women's movement, the NGO movement and the people's movements, can we deepen the understanding? It is easy for people to come and say, we want justice, give death penalty. Can we deepen these debates? Can we form common understanding on these? Can we focus also not just on the government, not just on the media, not just on the police, but on we the people? What do we have to do with gender inequality? What you and I have to do with the rape case which took place? And I think that's very important.
Thanks, Kamala. I'm going to come back to some of the points that you've raised. But I just want to move now to Santosh, and you've been writing on these issues. This protest saw almost a grand rainbow coalition coming together. So, women's group, but several youth groups, students' movements, professionals, middle class, all of them were coming together. So, do you see some shift in forms of social action?
Yeah, I definitely do. I do think that, there is this, I think a greater sense of the meaning of the ideal citizen. And the fact that increasingly this belief that democracy as an idea needs to be deepened in practice and needs to take on newer forms of engagement, newer, more direct action. And there is a dissatisfaction, therefore, with the idea of democracy being essentially a form of, if you like, election of proceedings. There is such a word. But, yeah, no, it's fine. So, to that extent, I think the idea that there is a responsibility for the first time that is widening, the sense of responsibility. Currently, it has operated through small, powerful activist action, which today is becoming wider and embracing, I think, a larger set of people from across a variety of different sections that will come in and as you said, a sort of a rainbow coalition of some kind we are beginning to see. And some of it is a little inchoate, some of it is not fully formed, it does not have what you mentioned in terms of perhaps a deeper thought, an ideological sort of a framework of any kind that they can go back to. But I think you're seeing stirrings of a kind that are new and that are direct and that are very, very palpable.
I think one of the struggles that we've been talking of is, and I particularly work on governance, is the shift from institutional democracy to substantive democracy. And you're kind of looking at some seeds of that substantive democracy. But even within this grand rainbow coalition, we had the political class coming in. So Kalikesh, now coming to you. But very soon we saw a rupture in that coalition and that consensus that we saw. Starting with the dented and painted comment to the RSS chief saying that this happens in India and not in Bharat. And you had several similar comments coming in. So I have a list, but we've all been aware of those comments. So why is the political class so out of tune with the beginning of a substantive democracy movement that we're seeing?
No, there is no doubt that the horrific incident in Delhi caused a massive coalition, and it caused a uproar not only in Delhi but across India. And of course, any person in the same mind would condemn the kind of statements which came out of one section of the political class, and not only the political class, it was social organizations. You mentioned one, there were others, some religious organizations. Now, unfortunately to me, that's not just a reflection of the political class, it's also a reflection of a certain element in society which exists. We can't wish it. And to me, that's a structural cause of a lot of the problems that we face today. One of the reasons I think that there is a disconnect between these elements and the kind of activism we've seen, which, if I may add, has manifested itself in urban middle class Delhi. There is a huge segment of, let's say, rural women who are left out of this, or at least as a manifestation of its uprising. And a large part of the political class or even religious, social organizations depend upon rural areas for their source of strength. And one of the reasons is that this kind of uprising has not yet made, or even if it's made an impact on those elements in rural India, they have not voiced their concern very, very appropriately about this as yet. Which is why we see sometimes differing and, to my mind, abhorrical statements coming out. I think if such an uprising is a welcome sign that who we call the apolitical middle class are now getting involved in a substantive democracy, as you say, or in larger class actions, as Kamlaji was talking about. I think to get a more uniform approach into these actions, to make it more sustainable, we need to address the rural constituency also. There has to be one way of bringing them back in. But we can't do that with the English-speaking media, which is one of the visual media, Hindi or English, which is one of the main reasons why these uprisings in Delhi have become popular. We can't do that with social media, because a lot of them don't have internet. We have to find ways to communicate with women in rural India. That's one of the biggest challenges we have to make our democracy a substantive democracy.
So, Kalikesh, I'm going to have a follow-up question on that, but maybe this is going to Kamla first. I just thought, Kamla, just to link this with what you earlier said about the Khap Panchayats, and Kalikesh talked of religious organizations. So there's obviously a fundamental contradiction between the struggles for women's rights and the philosophy of say, a Khap Panchayat or a religious organization of this kind. I think your comment on that would be helpful to understand how we face it. But I just wanted to take it a little further so that we're not caught in just this conversation. I think that one of the biggest learnings for me from the feminist movement and the women's struggle has been breaking the divide between the public and the private. I think that's been a huge learning for all of us, that personal is political. However, when it comes to serious action, we're still largely going back to action in terms of what happens in the public space. I work a lot on MDGs, post-MDGs now. All my MDGs are looking at what's going to happen in the public space. And look at how conveniently the ordinance actually leaves out the private space. It talks of rape within marriage, but the ordinance is absolutely silent. So both are interrelated issues.
Look, first I'd like to respond to Karikesh when he said all this is happening in urban areas and happening in Delhi. My own understanding is that the women's movement and women's uprisings are at least 100 times bigger, if not more, in the rural areas. The problem is that it is very convenient for the media to sit down in their bedrooms and call me and get my bite. Now to get a bite from a rural area, that man will have to get up from his chair and go there, or a woman. And also I don't have the humility. I also love media coverage and I don't tell him or her कि भाई मेरी मत करो, वहाँ जाओ. तो हम सब इसमें दोषी हैं. Even here, if we just talk of 1 million rising, there is Manorama Ekta who just received an award. She was just showing me the pictures of what she did in Jharkhand. There is a young man here from Alwar. He was showing me in his camera just now the hundreds who rose there. Nikhil Dey and Aruna Roy mobilized 1 million people in Andhra Pradesh, which all your cities put together couldn't have done. And not just now. I mean, when in Rajasthan the Bhabari rape case took place, my God, for years the Rajasthani women of all kinds, mainly village women, they rose up. And I think at least now we should stop fooling ourselves and saying that we are either much more politically active and we are much more in front there. And if you look at any campaign in Delhi, against anything, whether it is for Narega, whether it is social justice, the majority of those people are poor women. Even NGOs, when they mobilize, the wives of these middle-class urban NGO types, they are not there. It's all those illiterate so-called women. And I really feel that in this country, each time our political leaders were misbehaving, becoming dictatorial, etc., it is the village masses who saved us. They saved us from emergency, they saved us from other rules. So I really think we need to see, and women's movement is no exception. And here in this crowd, Maina Samakya is here. My God, show me one program in an urban area which is as strong politically, ideologically and otherwise. So really, उनको थोड़ा सलाम कर दो एक बार. आप सब एक बार जोर की ताली बजाओ. And my God, the Maya Kaidis in Manipur, the Assam women who disrobe themselves and come Indian army, rape us. Will you ever see that kind of a protest in any city of India? No way. So this is what I have learned in my 40 years, that for gender equality, I have to go to a rural woman, I have to go to an Adivasi woman to learn. As a middle class woman, I have nothing to teach her. और वो सिर्फ body language में दिख जाता है, वो जैसे खड़ी होती है, क्या बात. And as far as these few politicians who made those comments, I think they pretty much represented the Indian population. And many of them were urban people. Mr. Mukherjee from Calcutta was no villager, and he said that thing. And Asharam Bapu is a global citizen, flying around the world. I mean, it has nothing to do with rural areas. This is our mindset. This is what we think. And you look at, I mean, I'm challenging all of you, look at any religious function in your own home. Look at a marriage function and see patriarchy there. A woman and man who were walking as friends till yesterday. But in that Shadi Ki Devi, she will be touching his feet on day one. He will be putting that sindoor. And how many women and men are here who rejected that and said no? As soon as our parents die, the women will stay back and the brothers will go and do their last rites as if I was not born of that blood, as if I was not born of that flesh. And what does that prove? That I am an inferior person. And like that I can keep giving you. I mean, there is no religious festival, occasion where patriarchy doesn't come in, and there are hardly any people even here who say no to it. At death, of course, तो हम सबकी चुप्पी हो जाती है. अरे अब यहाँ कैसे सवाल उठाओ? वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? शादी में औरतों की तो जबान वैसे ही कट जाती है. 90% of us change our names after we get married, and their husbands have no problems with it. They love it. So it is very much in our blood. We have not questioned these things, and I think this personal and political women's movement has done it. We have said it. And I've been saying कि हाँ हमें नए कानून लाने हैं, हमें नए बिल लाने हैं, मगर मैं पिछले 3-4 साल से कह रही हूँ जिस चीज़ की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है वो कानून और बिल से ज़्यादा है नए दिल लाने हैं. इनको बदलना है और मर्द को भी बदलना है और औरत को भी बदलना है. पितृसत्ता सिर्फ मर्दों के दिलों दिमाग में नहीं है. पितृसत्ता उतनी ही शायद उससे ज़्यादा हम औरतों के दिलो दिमाग में है और हम सबको मिलकर इसमें आगे बढ़ना है. सबने सीखना है एक दूसरे से.
धन्यवाद कमला जी. क्लैरिफिकेशन, दिस इज नॉट टू पुट यू ऑन द स्पॉट, पर आपने जो बात कही मणिपुर की, कश्मीर की, मैंने शुरू में सोनी का नाम लिया, तो वहाँ पर प्रोटेस्ट तो लगातार हो रहे हैं, पर कहीं मुझे लगता है कि जो मुख्यधारा, इमेजिन मुख्यधारा है, वहाँ पर जो वायलेंस अगेंस्ट वुमेन होता है, जो इस सो कॉल्ड मेन स्ट्रीम आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया के खिलाफ है, उसे चैलेंज करता है, देन वायलेंस अगेंस्ट वुमेन इज ऑल. यहाँ ये लगता है, मतलब चाहे वो आर्मी के द्वारा हो चाहे पुलिस द्वारा. So I just wanted to get a sense, how are we able to reconcile complete human rights violations in these cases, violence against women? So how do we look at this? As my understanding is that the idea of India is plural, even the idea of India, and there are multiple ideas of India. So even a Soni Sori, within the constitutional frame, is challenging the idea of India. She should have all the rights to do that, or for that matter in Kashmir or in North. Why do we respond in such a masculine fashion?
And when you say we, I think, you know,
of the state.
I for one do in no way condone any of these incidents. Nor do I condone the acts of the army or the police in whichever case it may be. Actually, I was talking about just the very incident when I was giving my perspective. In my view, when the state resorts to, as you say, extra constitutional methods, as the government says extra constitutional methods, you know, I say criminal acts. To me, it removes the credibility and the position and the status of the state to act as the state itself, therefore making their own actual rules. Governments often tend to disregard not only human rights, but basic rights of individuals, not only in cases where secessionist movements are on, but in cases where land disputes are there, in rehabilitation, in cases of caste versus caste issues. This has been common practice. Therefore, the need to build up independent institutions. Therefore, the need to have fast-track courts to address these issues, to have independent institutions that can correct the government when they go wrong. To a large extent, I think our democratic setup has not been able to address these issues. Be it the lack of representation from those classes, be it sex or gender or caste or religious, be it a lack of awareness of have a political identity associated with these fringe areas. Kashmir, of course, has been of the focus, but Northeast, to a large extent, has been off our focus. And it's not just with Ram. And we look at the way Northeasterners are treated here in Delhi itself, it shows of alienation of our society with these areas. So yes, a lot more has to be done. We, as a government, we as a society, need to transform ourselves. How we go about doing that is a big question we've got to talk about.
You have some ideas right away, or?
I think we all have ideas. I think the